In the ancient land of Sicily, a place where the sea kisses sun-drenched shores and the earth trembles beneath the weight of Mount Etna, the air is thick with both beauty and danger.
Amidst this breathtaking landscape, history weaves tales of resilience and faith, tales that defy the passage of time. One such story is that of Agatha, a young woman whose spirit burned brighter than any flame, whose faith stood unyielding against the might of an empire. Agatha was no ordinary woman. Born into a life of privilege, her future was intended to be filled with comfort and ease. Yet Agatha saw beyond the allure of wealth and status. Her heart was given to a higher calling, her soul dedicated to a divine promise. In an era when the world was ruled by power and possession, Agatha chose a path less traveled, one paved with devotion and sacrifice. Her decision to consecrate her life to Christ was not just an act of faith, but a bold declaration against the very fabric of Roman authority. The 3rd century was a time of great unrest for Christians. The Roman Empire, under the rule of Emperor Decius, demanded allegiance through acts of worship to pagan gods. It was a demand cloaked in fear, a decree that sought to crush dissent and unify the empire under a single banner of belief. For many, compliance was survival, but for Agatha, submission was a betrayal of her deepest convictions. She stood resolute, a beacon of unyielding faith against the tide of oppression. When the governor of Sicily, Quintianus, cast his gaze upon Agatha, it was not merely her beauty that captivated him, but the strength of her spirit. He saw in her something he could not possess, something that challenged his authority. In a world where women were often seen as pawns in the games of men, Agatha's defiance was both courageous and dangerous. Quintianus, driven by both desire and a need to assert control, demanded that she renounce her faith. He offered her a life of luxury and power if only she would submit. But Agatha's heart was steadfast. She would not bow to any but her God. Her refusal set in motion a series of events that would test the limits of her endurance and fortitude. Agatha was seized and subjected to the cruelest of torments, her captors intent on breaking not just her body, but her spirit. In the dim, shadowed confines of her prison, instruments of pain whispered promises of agony. Yet, even as her flesh was torn, Agatha's resolve did not falter. Her prayers rose like incense, a testament to her unwavering faith. The accounts of her suffering are harrowing, painted in strokes of darkness and light, of violence and grace. Her tormentors sought to strip away her dignity, to silence the voice of defiance that rang through the halls of power. But in the depths of her agony, Agatha found solace. It is said that angels tended to her wounds, that her cell was filled with a celestial radiance. Her persecutors could not touch the sanctuary of her soul, where her God awaited with open arms. As the storm of her persecution reached its zenith, Agatha was led through the streets of Catania, a city held in thrall by both fear and admiration. The wind carried her whispered prayers, a final offering from a life lived in devotion. Her martyrdom was not an end, but the beginning of a legacy that would echo through the ages. A year after Agatha's death, Mount Etna roared to life, its fiery wrath threatening to consume the city. In desperation, the people of Catania turned to the memory of their beloved martyr. They carried her veil in a solemn procession, lifting their pleas to the heavens. According to legend, as the veil met the molten advance, the lava halted. Agatha's story is a tapestry woven with threads of faith and defiance, a narrative that continues to inspire those who hear it. It speaks of a strength that transcends the physical, a courage that stands against the darkness. As the tale unfolds, we delve deeper into the heart of a saint who became a symbol of hope for generations. Today, she is honored as patron saint of Catania, patron against fire and volcanic eruptions, patron of those suffering from breast illness, patron of nurses and victims of assault. Her story is not only suffering, it is of courage, dignity, and faith that no empire could destroy. Her feast day is celebrated every February 5th. Saint Agatha, pray for us.
Subscribe.